would ask you, where is your heart broken? I would ask you, what takes the wind out of your sails? I would ask you, what deflates you? And then I will tell you, you are strong enough to serve into that, not to deny it, not to look away from it, but to look directly at it, move towards it, and see how you can be a healing force.
Welcome to New Earth Podcast, where we dive into inspiring stories, profound wisdom, and insights from remarkable individuals who are driving the consciousness shift on our planet. If you're ready to elevate your awareness and well-being, you're in the right place. But before we dive into today's episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. Together, we'll continue to explore the ideas and conversations that help you up-level your consciousness. Thank you so much for your support and your comments and for being part of this journey. Hello and welcome back to New Earth Co-Creators. Today we have a wonderful guest, Stephanie Banks, who is an intuitive channel known for her ability to communicate with many different realms: human souls, spirit guides, animals, nature, and the consciousness of Gaia herself. Today, we'll explore her connection with these realms and then invite Gaia to speak and share insight into the planetary and human evolution that is unfolding at this time. Welcome, Stephanie. Delighted to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm thrilled to be here, and I am grateful to you for inviting me.
It's beautiful conversation. I'm really interested to see what comes up. I've never had a hotline to Gaia herself before.
You have. Yes, you have.
This is very true. This is very true. But it's a curious conversation. It's not something we've brought up in a podcast in this way before. So
Yeah.
I'm really curious. I'd love to start with, how did you discover that you could channel?
Well, I discovered it because a best friend of mine, who was a very, very powerful, beautiful channel, was channeling with groups of women. And as I sat next to her, I started to hear and feel and sense messages coming through me as well. And for years, I denied this. I thought it was a more of like, I couldn't imagine that this could possibly happen to me as well. How is that even possible for all of us to possess this ability to connect this deeply? But over time, the messages continued, and I started to talk with her about it, and she sent me to her mentors, and she was a mentor to me. So I really learned how to hone this. We all channel. We all can channel. I believe for many of us, we turn off that aspect of ourselves when we are told or shown that it's not safe to do so. But when we are shown the path of safety and of empowerment and of love and of divinity that channeling is, well, when I discovered that, I just turned all the faucets on at once and I haven't stopped.
Yay! And when you say you turn them all on at once, you've kind of done that because, some people just channel their guides or Pleiadians or, very specific set of people or energies, whereas yours seems very expansive. So you really did open out and say, hey, whoever wants to talk, come through.
Yes. My request is always that the vibration that comes through be of a match or higher than the one that I'm carrying. And so then it's on me to maintain mine as high a level as I can. So that's the beauty of channeling, is we will draw in an energetic match to us. And so we get to engage in really deep practices and self-love and self-compassion and self-celebration and all the things that raise our frequency to bring in the highest clarity and the highest energetic beings. So yeah, we can channel any soul that's on the planet right now. We can channel any spirit guide. We can channel ancestors, Gaia, trees, animals, worms. I have a client who is really into vermiculture, and we channel her worms. So it's all fair game. It's energies everywhere. Souls are everywhere.
Oh, that's fabulous. I'd love to talk about the aspect of nonverbal communication, because my understanding is as well that how you initially got into it was through your mother's dementia, that you were looking and searching for a way to communicate with her. And I recently had Kai Dickens on the podcast. I don't know if you're familiar with her, the telepathy tapes.
Yes, of
Yeah, so that
course.
was an incredible conversation, and we really explored that nonverbal communication. And what
Mhm.
was really coming up for me, because she was talking about the gifts,
Mhm.
of how they communicate and what they could bring through, like languages they've never learned and stuff like that, is that I believe we all have this ability to do this. So I just wanted I understand you're a speech pathologist. Is that correct as well? That's your
Yes.
background. So, with your background and understanding, can you shed some insight into all of this?
Oh, sure. I'd love to. So I like to say that I came to channeling out of necessity. My mom had a type of dementia that affects young people. Her symptoms started in her late 40s, and as her dementia progressed, I found it more and more challenging to just maintain a healthy, joyful relationship with her. Her communication pathways were breaking apart. She was not understanding things so well. She wasn't able to express herself so well. And it made for a lot of frustration in our exchanges. At the time, I was practicing as a speech pathologist, and I thought, I've totally got this in the bag because I have studied this, I have practiced this, it's what I do day in and day out, not a problem. But we could not get there. It's really different when it's your mom, and
Yeah.
there's all the emotional components and complexities of that relationship. So that's where I was able to tap into channeling. And I asked my best friend, can you please channel my mom's soul? This is while my mom was living. And let me hear from her, what do you need from me? How can I support you? How can I also support myself in the context of how I'm here to serve you? And her soul communicated so clearly and so specifically. I was able to understand what I'm doing right, what I am doing that's not helpful, that's bringing confusion and chaos, how to get out of her way, how to get out of my way, how to bring a loving, joyful, playful energy back into our relationship. And it changed everything forever. So, I saw what was possible through that, and I recognize that it's probably not only this one relationship that channeling can touch. And since I'm deeply connected to not only humans, but also to animals and also to trees and also to earth, how about tapping into that energy? And really, energy is energy. Our brains, our left hemispheres like to separate things into nice, neat little categories and boxes and labels. But love is love, energy is energy. Channeling is just bringing through that divine energy, which is what we're made of. So it's accessible to all of us. And I fully believe this. And when you apply this to those who are nonverbal in their communication, you actually have so much more access because, in some ways, verbal language is very limiting, right? How many times have you felt like, oh, I can't think of the right word I want to use? And then we sort of get stuck and stumble on trying to find a match for the exact word or language we want. But when you are not encumbered by that, everything is available to you. All sorts of other forms of communication through the heart, through telepathy, through facial expressions, body language, energy emanating, all these things that we normally don't pay attention to because we're overly reliant on the verbal word.
Oh, thank you for sharing that story. What a beautiful gift for your mother in her last years as well, to have been able to reach her that way. And that's what I really got out of the podcast with Kai Dickens as well, is
Mm,
the worlds that she was opening up through this work. And I get a sense of this through your work as well, because I've had channels on
mhm,
previously, but it's felt much more that teacher message aspect. Whereas
mhm,
you seem to be bringing through much more the energetic healing side.
mm.
Is that correct?
I would agree with that. I always find the messages to be very healing. And I don't know how to explain that because I'm not claiming myself as a healer and healing others. I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to that. I believe we're our own healers. And sometimes when we hear messages, even though we know them on a very deep level already, hearing them, feeling them, having a sacred space in which to bask in them, it is very healing. It's transformative. So I would agree with you. That's the effect of them is very healing for me and for those that are listening.
And do you notice a difference between when you're channeling a human soul to when you're working with animals or nature or Gaia? How does that feel in your body? How different is that for you?
Yeah, definitely. Um, the human souls are sticky. And I
We've
don't
got
say this
more
negative.
work to do than the animals. They're way ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like because I believe we return many, many, many lifetimes to get closer to perfect love, divine love, agape, whatever you want to call it. We have this history, a human soul history. So that's why sometimes people feel familiar to you, or why sometimes you have unexplained tension with another, because sometimes there's a pre-existing soul contact or connection or other lifetime that you shared, and we agree to forget that when we come through in this lifetime, so it won't always make sense to us on a conscious level. But animals are not like that. Animals are pure, positive, only present energy. They are not holding a grudge like, well, in another lifetime, you did not feed me, well, or you did not treat me. There is none of that. It is just pure presence and pure love. And that's why I have 4 dogs and I want to quadruple that
Oh,
because there's that constant infusion of just delightful, unconditional love. No expectations, just acceptance. And this is true for all of the natural world. When I am doing my best energetic clearing, it's outdoors.
mm,
When I am communing with nature, it's in conversation with the trees, through my heart with the trees.
mm.
When I'm hiking, you will find me hugging many trees on these hiking paths. So there is, for me, as I channel nature compared to human souls, there is a very different feel. I won't say I have a favorite, but I think it's pretty clear what I would choose.
Don't worry, I'm not going to get you to channel 40 people today. We're going to stick with Gaia. So
Yeah.
moving on to Gaia, what is her consciousness like to channel? What does
Mm.
that feel like in your body, energetically and emotionally?
Mm. Okay, well, it depends what I'm asking her. So as an earth empath, I feel everything very, very deeply. And as someone who is deeply connected to ecology and to the species that are here and then the species that we are losing every moment, I feel, my heart is very, very much present to all of that. So there are times when I'm channeling Gaia and a lot of emotion comes through me. Um, I would, I welcome that. I mean, emotion is just energy in motion. It needs to pass through, right? There's wisdom that it's carrying. There's wisdom that lies underneath. And so sometimes it's a very deeply emotional channeling or experience, and sometimes it's just purely effervescent and light and joyful and etheric. And sometimes it's very rooted and grounded and centered. We play in all sorts of realms because even though we think of nature as grounding energy, and it really is, it's uplifting, constantly uplifting. Look at the birds, the butterflies, the bees, all the winged creatures, right? Like these are, they bring a lightness, a levity to us. So I feel all sorts of things when I channel Gaia.
And do you experience Gaia as a sort of singular consciousness or more like a collective?
I would say in the way that I'm channeling, it feels more of a singular consciousness. I feel like there's one energy that is speaking through me, rather than a collective, but speaking on behalf of all her beings, all
Yes.
life for all time. So in that way, it could be called a collective, but I'm when I'm attuning to her, in my mind at least, this is a singular energetic of Gaia herself.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share about channeling Gaia before we kind of start tuning in and connecting in with her? Is there
Yes.
anything you think it's important for us to know before
Yeah.
that?
Yes. I think it's important to know that we all channel and we are all connected to our mother with the capital M. And Gaia is very eager for us to recognize that and keep coming home to that, keep touching into that. She has messages for all of us all of the time. They are only love. There will be nothing. She's not going to give you messages of despair. She's going to call you home, call you forward, call you into action that will be in service to your heart and all of life. That's what we're here for. So as I channel her, it's just my flavor of channeling. Take what resonates, let the rest go, and then get out there and channel her yourself.
Yay, how gorgeous. And sorry, just in terms of getting out there and doing it, are there any practical ways that you can suggest we tune into that? Like you mentioned the trees, is
Yeah.
it helpful to have a particular anchor point or a place that we feel safe or comfortable that we go to do
I
that?
do. I think so. I think so. There's something called a sit spot. This is in a lot of nature practices and consciousness practices, and it's where you basically kind of walk about. It could be where you live, it could be in a park, it could be wherever, and you just notice where do you feel called and go there. Go there and sit down, bring a blanket, bring a chair, bring something. I just channeled for a client, and Gaia was telling her, go get a hammock and put it on your property. And you sit there and you just be with me and let's sing to each other and let's bring in energy. So find your sit spot and then just literally sit and breathe. Notice what you notice. There is nothing like hardcore that you have to do here. Just be in the presence of nature and acknowledge what's happening around you. Notice the leaves, notice the seasons, notice the smallest of creatures, notice the most vast of trees. Ask if there are messages for you and listen with your heart, and you will receive. I promise you this.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Shall we welcome in the consciousness of Gaia now?
Yes, yes, let's dive in. What would you like to ask her, Sarah?
So, are there any messages that Gaia wishes to offer before we dive into the questioning?
Yeah, let's ask her to prepare us for receiving. So I just close my eyes when I channel, and when I start to talk in a moment, it's going to come from Gaia herself. Hmm. Hello, my precious children. Welcome, 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 welcome. You know that this meeting is divinely ordered, is divinely guided, is now called to order in a more formal way. But do not take this formality to mean that you need to arrange yourself in any sort of posturing. No, just be here. If you need to slouch, slouch. If you need to crumble, crumble. If you need to lay yourself flat, lay yourself flat. If you wish to sit quite tall, reaching crown towards the heavens, do that wherever you feel most expansive, most comfortable, most held. That's where I want you. That's how I want you. That's how you can receive. And so now, if you do not mind, I ask that you place a hand over your heart. This is the space, the place from which we will be communicating. So you will want to take just a moment and recognize how about that it is handling all of life itself. It is beating for you. And your body is handling all of life for you as well. And so you needn't even think about this. Just be present to it. Just place a sensitive palm upon it and be in the gratitude and appreciation of how you are a miracle. You are a living, breathing, moving miracle. And now I invite you to just bring yourself into connection and communication and receptivity with me with 3 breaths, just 3 breaths. Go ahead and take them now. Mm. And now you are ready.
Beautiful. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. That was beautiful. I was still on breath number 2, so I'm a little bit
Oh, I'm sorry.
behind.
It's my eager
Okay, catch
breathing.
up. um, what does Gaia want humans to understand about her right now?
Okay. I will highlight two of the most crucial elements that you will want to believe when you hear it, even if your mind is inclined to start to work on what I am stating. But here they are, nonetheless. Number one, we are, you and I, not ever, never have been, never will be separate or separated. This notion is something that um, has been offered up, sometimes in quite attractive ways, this notion of separation, but it is not possible. For you are me. You are created and fashioned from all the elements of me. And so there can be no separation whatsoever. And let this be a guiding force of love for you. Let this be a constant opportunity for reconnection with me and therefore with you. For every time you attune to me, you are doing the very same from the deepest places within yourself. There can be nothing more important than that. The second element I would like for you to know and believe and fully trust is that um, you are as vast as the most vast perspective of the universe. For example, when you sit and gaze out into the night sky at the stars and remember through the feeling of just how small you are, remember also that at the very same time that you are small, you are as vast as as this cosmos. You are as vast as the stars. You are as vast as the planes. You have no beginning and no end, just as that which you are gazing upon, just as me, no beginning and no end. And so now that we have acknowledged that, now that you will, for the time being, believe that, we can go deeper. Okay,
Wow, how amazing.
let's go deeper. What's your next question, Sarah?
I'd love to, from Gaia's perspective, what is humanity experiencing at this time in our evolution?
Hmm. Hmm. Options. I would say options. And there is such a thing as having too many choices. You know how you feel at the buffet when you are almost at the place of overwhelm because you may want to try everything or you may want to stick with just one thing and then the mind can get overrun with options. And so there is so much that humanity is attempting to sort and to locate themselves. Which group does one belong to? Which set of beliefs shall one settle upon? Which actions does one wish to take? How can one tap into their deepest beingness of oneself? And so what I would strongly suggest is to bring oneself back to the simplest, which is really always going to be the miracle of your life, which occurs through the miracle of you taking breath each and every moment. Humanity, as can easily be seen, is in great struggle right now, and much of this struggle is not simply what the actions are of others, but again, I bring us back to the notion of separation. And so, as soon as you come back to the miracle of your ability to take breath without even thinking of it, and then directing your attention to that breath, that is the space, the portal, if you will, where I can enter, where I can remind you of who you are, what you are connected to, and the fact that there is no limitation here. And in the collective despair of humanity and the collective fear and the collective anxiety and that which seems to be building and building and doubling down on itself, there is also, guess what? There's also this peace. And that's what I'm bringing. I am bringing you into the state of miraculousness through life and peace through your existence. And so, where you can be in stillness, even just for seconds, and let us use the magic number 3. It was no accident that I offered 3 breaths, though there was a bit of a rush, and perhaps not all got to fit in the 3. But now, now I guide you to the 3 minutes, 3 minutes of quiet breath, 3 minutes of peace, and then three more if you can take a bit of time outside. And if the weather, as you like to call it, is not favorable, as you like to say, then peer out from a glass pane to the outdoors. Again, 3 minutes. I promise you that in that period of time, I will touch in. I am not far, as we have already established that I am you and you are me, and we are not separate, nor can we ever be. And so every moment that you allow yourself, present yourself to be in communication, connection, openness, receptivity to me, I promise I am here. I am here and I will show you something remarkable. Look to my world any moment at any time, and I will show you something remarkable.
Wow. Thank you so much for bringing this through. This is so beautiful. I love the simplicity in that, coming back to the breath, because it brings us back into our body.
Absolutely. And to the miracle of us, which is the miracle of all life, which is the miracle of being on this living, breathing planet. What? It's incredible.
That's the thing. And with all the difficulties that are going on, we can get caught up in our minds and forget that, that every breath is a miracle.
Yes, yes, yes. I lose my footing on this every day when I go to the global events. So this is a practice, and just 3 minutes. Who can't do 3 minutes or three breaths? We can all do that.
Beautiful. Thank you. This next question, it may well have been answered already, but in that, but what does humanity most need to learn in order to thrive here on Earth and come out of that sort of survival mode that we've been in?
Perfect. Trust. My dear children, humanity, my children, need to learn trust. And it is not trust in another that is paramount right now. It is trust in one's self. For if one is truly embodied in their own knowingness, in their own truth, in their own trust of that knowingness and truth, then you will see, we will all be living and functioning in a vastly different societal construct. You will have individuals moving about on the planet who do not view themselves as individuals, but view their work, their purpose, their meaning to be in service to the greater good, in service even to one particular other. It does not matter, but service will be at the center point. And when one is in their trust, when one is fully believing what the generative energetics of their truth is, then love will be at the center. And when one is operating from their trust in their love and in their knowingness, then there will be no other way except to ripple that, shift that, bring that as the predominant energetics. That will be the fuel that is guiding humanity rather than the fuel of fear. You have heard this split into two camps. You have heard the camp of fear and you have heard the camp of love. And the two do not really exist together when a human is looking for their meaning or for their purpose or how they might be in the world that will be most significant, most contributory. And so I am asking you to know that when you are wondering what to trust, it will be you and your sense of love.
Oh, how moving. It's just beautiful, this. Thank you so much. I'm really pleased that you brought in service, because that feels like a very important piece at this time. And I wanted to ask, how can we be of service to Gaia? And also, how can we support Gaia and work with her to make this shift, this evolutionary shift that we're all feeling?
Beautiful. Your questions are awesome, Sarah. This right now this right now, this very moment is in service to me. And guess what? Guess what? Keeping with the theme, it is also therefore in service to you, and also therefore in service to all of humanity. So even if one is not listening to these transmissions, as you call them, even if one cannot hear them on the sound waves or do not have this particular access to a recording, as you like to call it, it is being delivered. Trust me on this, it is being delivered. And so you ask, what can be done? What can you do? What will make a difference? What will contribute to the greater good? It is this. It is acts such as this. It is devotion such as this. It is asking the questions and then leaving room for the responses. This is what humans often forget, how to leave room for the truth to reverberate, for that which is essential in nature to present itself, to be distinguishable from that which is non-truth. And so you must leave space, my dear ones. You must leave space. Have all your questions, bring all of your questions, but do not allow your questions to pile on top of each other without leaving space after each one for the responses, for the answers. It is a call and response, you might think of it. And you will know the response because, again, I guide you to the heart. It will come back through that space. If you can believe in what your heart is showing you, sharing with you, illuminating for you, and follow that as much as is possible, then you will find yourself not lacking whatsoever. And if you can follow the guidance of your heart, guess where it will lead you? It will lead you to me. It will lead you to him. It will lead you to her. It will lead you to them. It will lead you over there. It will lead you beyond. It will lead you in ways that you could not imagine because it does not only come from the place of what you think is possible. And so I'm going to bring you back to this to this organ of wisdom. This is what I am speaking to right now. This is the one that is the guiding force, guiding light, guiding love system for you, for humans. And the way you can be in greatest service to me is to be in greatest attunement to that, which means you want a clear heart, which means you want a clear body, which means you want a clear conscience. Who can say they have all three? I do not know a singular a singular one who can say with certainty, yes, yes, all that has been named within myself is perfectly clear. But strive for it nonetheless, because perfection is never what we are going for, but getting closer and closer and closer to that which feels filled with wonder, filled full of life, filled full of your own divinity and the divinity that exists all around you, and the beauty and the peace that I am offering every single moment of every single day. That is what is your birthright. So, as you seek to be for ways to be in service, I would guide you back to the heart and I would ask you this. I would ask you, where is your heart broken? I would ask you, what takes the wind out of your sails? I would ask you, what deflates you? And then I will tell you, you are strong enough to serve into that, not to deny it, not to look away from it, but to look directly at it, move towards it, and see how you can be a healing force within that. See how your resources, inner and outer, can be can be directed to that end. See how you were put here to recognize this, to break in this way, to feel bruised and battered, even to feel overwhelmed, of course, not for the sake of diverting or averting your gaze or attention, but actually for the sake of moving towards it, for that which makes you tremble in this way, not from fear, but simply from heartbreak. That is part of your purpose.
Wow.
The chills.
Oh my goodness. So I loved this, following our heart to come home ultimately, to kind of put it into a sentence and, not turning away from the painful bits in our heart, but like acknowledging that as part of our purpose. And early on, in the question asking, Gaia talked about, we are not separate from her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to explore a little bit more about the interconnectedness between human consciousness and Gaia's consciousness, and how, because Gaia has given us the pathway into our own hearts for that healing, but also how by working to support the healing of Gaia energetically, physically, we're doing our own healing as well.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Okay. So clarify for me one more time, Sarah, your question, just for
The
me to
question
be.
is the interconnection between human consciousness and Gaia's consciousness, and how we can both heal through that connection.
Okay, beautiful. Yes, and I love this, and I love the phraseology of it, and I love the exploration of it. And what I would say is that the very question has put you into closer connection, therefore non-separation with me. And so when you ask such a question, how can our consciousness meld? Remember what I have spoken to, I hope, as clearly as possible before. Since we are not separate, everything that is done for in service to your consciousness is done for my benefit. Everything that is done in service to my consciousness is done for your benefit. We work coherently, we work concurrently in this way. And so I want to give you some practical application here, because I can feel that the numbers of those who are listening and reverberating with the frequency of these communications, of these transmissions, are looking for direct access. Oh, I will give it. I am happy to give it. Remember, however, though, this is not you coming to me. This is you becoming more of yourself, and therefore me with you. You see what I am saying? Anyways, practical applications is where I will take my response. Here you go. I will provide three, of course. Number one, you have likely heard this before. And it is not for nothing that you will hear it again from me. Place your fingers and your toes into the sand, into the sea, into the soil, into the clay, into whatever covers the ground you live upon. Go deeper, dig those toes in, bury those fingers. Let yourself become part of what you already are through the tactile remembrance, through the exchange of sensorial information, through the shift in your posture as you bend down to touch, to feel, to manipulate Earth herself, as you would say. Number two, play. Please, please, please remember your play, your playful side, your childlike side, your joyful side. See, if I were to shrink everybody to their child essence, to their childhood, and remove any hardship, any difficulty, any challenges, and just bring you to your purest essence, do you know what you would be doing? That's right. You would be rolling down my hillsides. You would be picking my wildflowers. You would be flinging your arms around the widest of my rooted beings. You would be climbing and leaping and skipping and rejoicing. And do you know what happens when you are permitted to express yourself in this way? You offer healing. You bring healing. It is this playful, joyful nature that each carries as an innate aspect of themselves that is brought directly to the plants, the animals, all life for all time. Did you know that this playful energy also has capacity to heal ancestral pain and wounding? Yes, indeed, it does. It has capacity to reach everywhere. It is everything. So can you do that? Can you find that kernel of playful essence and energy that is you, that maybe was buried or maybe set aside, or maybe even there was judgment or shame applied at some point or another? Can you go there anyways? I promise you, I will meet you there. Number three. This will be a practice to do upon taking your very first breath in the morning, your very first breath that you are aware of. For, of course, you will have been breathing the entire duration of nighttime while you sleep. When your eyes awaken in the morning and you start to come back into the narrative of who you are, where you are, what you must do, what is on your list, your docket for the day, what I'm going to ask you to do is hold up, hold up, hold up, wait, pause, listen, and greet me. Greet me and invite me. Greet me and invite me and sense me. Greet me and invite me and sense me. And then you may take your time, your space to ask me for something. This is not a mundane request. This is an opportunity for you to say something along the lines of, please share with me one of your miraculous animal beings. Allow it to cross my path today and bring a message of sorts. I will do that. It's your opportunity to ask of me, please show me through the play of light and shadow what I might find to be interesting or inspiring for me on my journey, and I can meet you there and do that. It is your opportunity to ask of me, please provide me with something as simple as clean water to drink and support and nourish, sustain, and hydrate my body so I may function at my best, and I will do so. It is your opportunity to ask for what the heart guides you to ask for, and I will respond. And again, it is this conversation that serves your consciousness, my consciousness, our consciousness, for remember, it is shared. She's just bringing us back to the most simple of practices because that is the place where everything branches.
And it's always just so useful to have that practical, because it's something we can do, it's something we can take action on in a very simple way.
Yeah, yeah, yep. And what I have found when I come back to the simple practices is that is actually where the magic is too. It's like it's an invocation, right? And so she keeps saying, my consciousness, your consciousness, not different. We're operating the same. And if we acknowledge that, then it takes us to the next step, which is that my consciousness and Sarah's consciousness, not different.
Yeah.
So we have this grander understanding of the world, the fact that we belong to it,
Yeah.
we are of it, right? And then, of course, we behave differently. We think differently. We call in different opportunities for learning, to teach, to absorb. It's really profound.
Yeah, undoing that illusion of separation that somehow we bought into,
Mm.
and starting to connect in and come home to ourselves again. So on that note, I'd like to change tack a little bit, because we have this interstellar object that's come into our solar system, which we could perceive as other. And I'm just really curious to see if Gaia is connected with AI Atlas.
Mhm.
As AI Atlas makes its journey, the closest point being 19th of December. So we're moving towards that now. Whether she's aware of this, whether she's in communication, and if she is in communication, what she understands is the spiritual significance of this cosmic being, or whatever it is coming into our solar system.
Okay, beautiful. Let's see. Well, you have heard the phrase "nothing happens in a vacuum," haven't you? And so I would touch on that. I would repeat that which is familiar. This this is um this is an energy. This is an energy that is called forward, drawn in trajectory to its destination. And you will see, it is not for me to say, I must acknowledge, it is not for me to say, for there is the quest of the human curiosity and the quest of scientific study and the quest for information, and much information cannot possibly be gained or um, acknowledged just yet, for more must be seen, more data must be taken. The humans want to tease apart and look further into, and then have an opportunity to prove their hypotheses and their theories and such. So I will not step in to disrupt that. This is one of the beautiful aspects of being human and seeking. I love this about my children. So what I will say is that there is communication, of course, always there is. And while this cosmic being has been receiving quite a bit of attention and enjoying it, I must say. That's so funny. I wish I could show you the picture in my mind right now. There are many others that are also in trajectory, in transit, in motion, and they are going so far undiscovered or unacknowledged. And trust me when I say they are not upset about this. There's not emotion connected to it. It is just yet another invitation. The humans will direct their attention to that which seems to them to be most relevant. And yet, sometimes, oftentimes, many times, it is that which is even more subtle that is designed to capture the information, the interest, the consciousness, the attention of humans. This is where some of the greatest learning can take place. This is where some of the greatest shedding can take place. For when humanity comes together, of course, cohesively to unify, and if it is in the space of awe, all the better. This will be a moment in time yet again for healing. That was wild. Because I mentioned to you, I don't know much about this cosmic being that you're talking about. I don't have a lot of study or expertise in this area at all. So, but I love learning. But what she was showing me visually was that this energy, it's big enough to have garnered all of our attention, is coming. And then there are all these small, right? Um, Beings on each side, above, behind, beyond, that are also carrying really important information. And we have our eyes trained on one thing, and it's kind of like, how do we blur
Okay.
our aware, right, to take in even more, to show curiosity and make room for more? But yes, to answer your question, communication always back and forth. It's I sense it like there is a divine timing, there is a welcoming, there's a perfect timing to this. And as we study from the scientific perspective, from just the humanistic perspective, from the curious place, we're going to learn more. And she said, not for me to say, because humans like to discover a lot of this on their own.
That's very interesting, isn't it? So we're living the mystery at the moment.
Exactly.
Many different ideas about what's going on.
Absolutely. Yes.
So,
And
I mean,
yeah.
there's actually loads I'd love to ask about Three Eye Atlas, but I'm just going to keep it to that one question. The other thing that is going on kind of alongside of, Three Eye Atlas coming in, certainly at the time of recording this a little bit early, is that there's been just loads of solar flares.
Mhm, mhm.
So I just wanted to tune into what is going on there, whether that's connected with AI three eye not AI Three Eye Atlas, and Yeah, just I don't know whether you want to do that from the perspective of the sun or from the perspective of Gaia, whatever comes through for you.
Yeah, let's stick with Gaia and see what she has to say about that. Mm, mm. Pardon my pause as I was giving space, giving room, giving abundance to my friend, the sun, as you call it, to see was there something that wished to be illuminated, wished to be lightened to bring in addition to this. And so I have received that and I will combine it now, what's that word? Intersperse it with what I wish to share. So here's what you do already understand, and you can apply it, expand your understanding to that which you do not believe you yet understand, but actually you have great understanding of, especially you, dearest one. She's speaking to you, Sarah. And so I would say that, well, there is an intensity and an intensification of the energetics that are in the field. And if we do not label them as good or bad or dark or light, then we just say energy. Energy is energy. And as it intensifies, as it increases, it is easy to sense this. Those beings, feeling beings, and also beings that you would not think of as feeling, for example, mineral beings, water beings, stone beings, and the like. All of this is felt. As things are intensifying, as more energy is being added to the field in whatever ways it is, it affects everything. I cannot I cannot speak to this more clearly. It affects everything. Now, the humans have always had their attention trained on the biggest aspects of what can be perceived. So these flares you are referring to, they are a result of the intensifying energy. And yes, there is um, astronomical and biophysical and every sort of explanation to it. And you can research that, you can study that, you can come to be an expert on that on your very own if you wish. But what is most helpful to know is that softness is being called forward right now. Ease is being called forward right now. Gentleness is being called forward right now. Acceptance, love, um, flow. These are words you know, these are words you understand. This is what I would encourage those who can make sense of what I am sharing to do. Embody these characteristics, these aspects. I am not saying because they will reduce the outbursts, let us call them outbursts, these flares, these cosmic occurrences. But when you add softness, compassion, gentleness, love, ease, and flow to the field, you are actually providing a bit of a buffering to everything in surround. It is hard to believe this, perhaps, because you cannot see an instantaneous result of your actions. You cannot even know if you are actioning in the right way, except to be very finely attuned to your physicality, to your heart, to your emotional body, spiritual body, etc. And of course, I would guide you to that. So this may not be the answer you were striving for. And I say to you once again, you are one of the best researchers I know. So go and study and learn and remember to filter everything through your own sense of truth. Not that you will always know what is so, but you can feel it in some place in your being.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's always good advice, isn't it? Being gentle, particularly when
Yes.
things get intense. It's like go the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah. And when you're talking about like just what's all the things that are happening weather-wise, what we would call natural disasters, whatever you want to call a flare, right? A burst, right? That it's intensity. So how, let's look at it through, like simply through the eyes of like mothering, just as an example, or parenting. Um, if a young one is inflamed, we apply soothing.
Yes.
We adjust ourselves to be soft and calm and slower and less intense. And we do have a lot of inflammation in the field. I'm just using different language, but based
Yes.
on what I'm seeing. And it's not, again, no right or wrong, good or bad, just what is. So something's it's kind of like birth too. Something is being born. Birth is messy. And so how do we bring our birthing mother and our birthing selves the greatest ease? We add that, we embody that ease, flow, compassion, gentleness, softness.
Mm.
And then from that place of observation, then study, then research, then
And if we
satisfy.
can, to others as well, which is not always possible when we're in that kind of inflammatory kind of energy.
Always try to bring it to others. I know it's the biggest challenge for
Yeah.
us right now. Yeah, but self first,
Self
because
first,
right,
absolutely.
what we can show to ourselves, it builds a robustness to have the overflow for others.
Absolutely. Thank you so, so much for all that you've brought through today. It's been
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. I have more questions. I could have kept going, but I'm going to leave it for now and invite you back because that feels like quite a lot. But is there any last message that you'd like, other than the gentleness, softness, which found like a beautiful last message? Is there any last message from you or any other being that wants to come through? And also, how can people find you? I will put your links in the description.
Yeah. I will end with what I said at the beginning, which is that what you experience in the channeling was simply my flavor of it. You have yours. So find it, use it, practice it, love it, share it if you want, or keep it just between you and Gaia, our great mother. But I am inviting everyone into this, a deeper relationship with her, again, because we're not separate. We are literally made of and from the earth. Everything we ingest, everything we absorb, all our computers, everything is made from the earth. She has provided all of this to us. So let's not be in separation of that's her, this is me. Nope. Get back into oneness with it. That's what I would invite others to do. And my website is soulinsight.com. And my social media is at Stephanie Intuitive Channel.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. It's been absolutely wonderful having you on the podcast today and just such incredible insight and wisdom. Really, really grateful. And thank you to everyone listening in. Lots of love and many blessings.
Thank you, Sarah.